Hello and welcome everyone to the next episode of One Punch Man Reviews! Episode 4. Alright. Metal Bat. Gonna be honest, he's up there as a really fucking cool character. Partly because of this episode and what follows with him. We get some nice action in here. The action is pumped up. I do like it. It works for the heroes that are involved, whereas Saitama so far hasn't performed in the animation department for his fights like he usually does in the first season. But for Metal Bat, this worked really nicely. The CG wasn't bad. It was pretty good for what it was, with like all the giant centipede monsters. I I actually like, upon seeing those asshole associate sponsors, who I rushing back as soon as I saw those from the manga. I'm like, oh, it's those assholes. Oh, I remember them. And that was literally like a statement I had said out loud upon seeing them, and it's just like, I remember these pieces of shit eating the common man's food. Oh, aren't we so high and mighty? Ooh, the thumbing my nose at the peasants down below. Ooh. Oh my god. Yes, I remember them. And I remember them being assholes. We get Garo's backstory, which is cool. In the previous episode, I'd mentioned him getting up. It seems they shuffled around the way the manga handled it, which I kind of understand. Open it with the episode with him just waking up and being like, the fuck happened last night? Did I just take like a wild drinking bender or something? I can't remember anything. Girl, now just imagining Girl just pounding back. Oh my god, I'm just thinking now of Garo taking out some random ass hero whose superpower involves like drinking booze, and then him just like, to insult him, just chugging all the dude's booze. And just getting so plastered he passes out without remembering shit of how he kicked the guy out. Just strewn in beer cans everywhere. He's not on garbage bags anywhere. He's laying on a fucking like a pile of beer cans. And underneath there is just like the beer hero that he beat. God. Yeah, there's not much to say. We get some backstory on Garo. He's kind of like Saitama, though he's always rooted for the villains, the monsters specifically. We get his whole take on it being unfair, and to a degree, it's true, especially in those Monster of the Week kind of series, which seemed to be what he was watching. Were they watching more like long-form series at the time? Maybe that would have been a bit different, because there are, those fights that go back and forth where one side takes it, one side doesn't, But in general Monster of the Week series, that's not the case. And I guess that seemed to be what his main impression was as a child. Sentai, other Power Rangers, what have you, things like that, where the villains don't tend to get, like, very far ahead, if at all, of the heroes. We also had a little showing of Metal Bat's sister on the phone specifically. Don't worry. If I recall, she will show up eventually. I don't remember when, but she will show up. And you'll get to see exactly how that plays out for him. Ooh. It's good comedy, believe me. You can tell by the cell phone call that she wears the pants in the family, more or less. She bosses the shit out of him by the sound of it. What else happened in this episode? There was something else I wanted to mention, besides just, like, Metal Bat beating down others. Oh, so, here's something that seems to be interesting. It seems the monsters are starting to work together, because they all seem to have a type of plan. They're not just fighting willy-nilly or going out on their own. They're teaming up. So that might be leading to something down the line. We have Garo finally finding Metal Bat and setting up for what potentially might be a fight next episode, though from the look of it, based on the episode title for next week, it seems like it's going to be straight into the tournament rather than jumping into anything else. we might get a little sneak peek of what's happening with Metal Bat and Garo, but I think based on the title, which is the martial arts tournament, it seems like it's just going to jump straight into that, which is fine. Speaking of that, we also got a little bit of information saying that Garo seems to have infiltrated that tournament before under the guise of Wolfman, wearing a wolf mask and fighting, but was later discovered that the real Wolfman had been tied up and, well, indisposed, so to speak. Which is interesting. It means that Garo was in there and completely destroyed that tournament that he was in, which will be even more interesting if he decides to come back for this tournament and fight Saitama, or I guess Chiranko now. It's also been found out that if Saitama's caught, he's going to be permabanned from that tournament, never allowed to come back. Not to mention, disqualification and everything anyway, which would happen regardless of whether you for impersonating a person one way or another. It's fair rules for what it is. Makes sense, and we get a little more backstory from Garo from a previous student of Bang's. Now, in the manga, I remember there was a scene specifically that showed us, not in a flashback from him, I don't believe. I believe it was from Bang, and I think Bang told them that he had a student to be on the lookout for, aka Garo. Now, I'm not going to be comparing this episode to the manga, as I haven't had the time to sit down and actually read the manga and catch up on what it is, so that will be picking back up in the next episode, which I believe the Amiibo will be appearing in again. He shall be in talking order. I won't say working order, but yes, he'll be making his return. Anyway, we get a little more feedback or a little more backstory that Garo actually, I guess, almost kind of snapped, you could say, or just made a snap decision in that he has learned everything he could from Bang's dojo, and completely decimated all the students except for Chiranko, who was supposedly off somewhere fucking around doing something or other. Whether that was just being lazy or whatnot, who knows. But the rest of the students got completely owned by Garo, and this is while Bang was absent. So whether or not he was off doing hero duties or if he had some other business to take care of, who knows. Point is, he was gone, and Garo decimated all of the students. And you could say forced, or maybe they all just, left due to, being destroyed like that. Their confidence being shattered like that so easily. Clearly we have the one guy, I honestly forgot his name, I just remember that he's kind of a dick, who was telling Saitama what happened, who ran off with his tail between his legs, and if I remember correctly, I believe he joined a separate dojo. It's not that he's run off and then come back for this tournament, he is in a separate dojo, which I believe some others also joined other dojos, rival dojos to Bang's. I'm excited to see Metal Bat versus Garo, because the action with Metal Bat and the centipedes and all the monsters, pretty fucking good. I can only imagine the Garo Metal Bat fight could be even better, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how some of these tournament fights turn out with Saitama involved. I am hoping that the animation is going to be up at the par that fight with Metal Bat was at, if not better. But we'll see. I am extremely, extremely excited for how the next episode is going to play out. If only for Metal Bat versus Garo, maybe for some of the tournament stuff. We'll see. So yeah, that's I guess overall this was a great setup. We had some good action. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. There was some good comedy. So I am excited for the next episode. Oh, I will also bring this up quick. The intro. So I will say that the song is starting to grow on me. I still don't think it holds a candle to the original, to the hero, but it is slowly growing on me. I still hate the opening animation. I still hate that stylized, oh man, here's a picture of the character coming in and there's the name sliding in. Oh, it's so good. It would work maybe if there were fewer characters that they did that for, but because they do that for all of the quote-unquote main cast, it's kind of over much, I think. Oh, we also get introduced to one of the characters from the after credit. In the after credits, we get introduced to one of the characters. I'm blanking on his name, but he's like the Chinese-looking dude. God, it's gonna bother me until I remember his name. But anyway, he's shown up, and he's gonna be apparently heading over toward S City, based on what he said. Now, whether or not he gets there in time to do any good, we'll see. He may not even show up till, I don't know, if the tournament episode, if next episode takes place solely within the tournament, he may not show up till episode 6. But we'll find out. And yeah, I guess that's it. I will catch you guys on the next episode. Bye.